Lion Country Kia Sports Talk with Steve Jones. Live on ESPN Radio 1037 and 1450. Featuring interviews and conversation from the voice of Penn State football and basketball. Now, here's Steve Jones.
Great to have you with us on the show today. Sponsored by Lion Country Kia, 1334 Driveville Street behind Sam's Club State College. Online at lioncountrykia.com. Steelers won yesterday and really one of the 20 worst NFL games I've ever seen. And but they won. Doesn't matter. No style points in the NFL. Great defense.
Yeah, but they're going to be without T.J. Watt for a majority, if not all, of the season.
But you know what? This is the question I want to ask. Why are we seeing more pectoral muscles being injured?
Not enough bench press?
Maybe too much.
Oh, too much bench press. I should have went the other way.
No, I'm just asking. Why? That seems to be one of the injuries du jour right now. Where in the last 5 to 10 years, you've seen a lot of those. You're like, okay, why is that happening so often? Didn't happen like that before. And I think it's an important question to ask. Why? Because that is an injury that crops up more and more and more every year. So he might be out for the year.
Yeah, that's. I mean, this changes everything for the Steelers. You invested $28 million per year in him. This is a guy that commands double and triple teams, and we have Black and Gold Breakdown. We talk to Neil Coulong once a week, and everything I said, the two things that couldn't happen to the Steelers, and they both happened against the Bengals. One, they lost T.J. Watt, possibly for the season. Even if it was 4 games, that would be concerning. Then number 2, Najee Harris might have a high ankle sprain and could miss 3 weeks. So the two positions that you can't lose you can't lose either of those guys. They have no depth. They have really nobody outside of T.J. Watt. Alex Highsmith is good.
But to be honest with you, a lot of teams don't. I mean, really, you can talk about a 53-man roster, but it's a 45-man roster. You really don't have a lot of depth in many spots in the NFL. You have multiple receivers, multiple running backs, multiple defensive backs. A lot of teams don't have that kind of depth.
I think I look at the Packers and it's like, well, they can be without Aaron Jones for a couple of weeks. Same thing with the Vikings. Well, they can be without Dalvin Cook for a couple of weeks. The Patriots kind of have a running back stable.
They didn't beat the Dolphins.
No, they did not beat the Dolphins, but Mac Jones is hurt. Thank goodness they drafted Bailey. Is it Bailey Zappi or Bailey Zapp?
Zappi.
Yeah, Bailey Zappi.
Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Mitchell. That was Mitch's quarterback.
So if he has a bad back, the T.J. Watt injury is a much bigger deal because the Steelers look exactly the same. They rely on the defense and the offense. I think how many? Gosh, they forced 5 turnovers, 7 sacks, and they won by 3.
Yeah.
They had to block an extra point just to even get to overtime. It was deja vu all over again with the Bills. They had a block punt. This time it was a block PAT.
Yeah.
Josh Allen threw an uncharacteristically amount of picks. So did Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, the fact that he threw 4 interceptions in the home opener was a little surprising, but also not because he had the appendectomy, and he didn't play at all in the preseason, so there was bound to be some rust. But you did all of that just to win by 3.
Yeah.
They got stuff at the goal line, even when Najee Harris was in there.
Yeah.
I like the way that Trey Essex said it. He was a former Steelers rotational offensive lineman. He was a former Super Bowl champ. He won with those teams back in the mid-2000s. And he said on Twitter, I hope y'all see now that this was not a 7 problem. Right. Meaning that this was not Ben Roethlisberger's fault.
Right. I know.
It's a combination of play calling and frankly personnel, and mostly along the offensive line.
All right, Saturday went about the way you'd hope.
Yeah,
it won big.
Yeah,
James. This is why coaches, for example, when they are asked on a Tuesday, hey, what's your plan for the, quote, backup quarterback? And coaches get asked that. And they're like, well, hey, we'll just see how the game plays out and so forth. It's not like they don't have a plan. They do. And James had planned to put Drew Aller into the game. And he talked to Jack and myself about this after the game. So I'm not speaking out of turn here. It's not a private conversation. That he had thought of, that they would like to have gotten him in maybe in the second quarter, but he was 19-7. They let Sean finish out the half. And then no matter what you do, and he didn't say this, but I've said this for a long time, no matter what game you're playing, you want your starters to start the second half. Why? Okay? If this were later in the season, you don't think about it. Early in the season, you want them to start the second half. Why? Because they have to get used to coming out of the locker room and starting up again.
Yes.
Right? That's why your starters always start the second half. Because even in a game like that, because you've got to get them into the mindset of, hey, look, time to go play again. Right? Then after that series, then he put Drew in.
I thought it was a little early in general, but
no, they had control.
No, I know it was the right decision. It was just, I'll say it again, uncharacteristic. You don't see the backups come in that early in that type of game, because I think back to Ball State last year when Taquan Roberson came in, middle of the fourth quarter.
But you notice when he went in the game, who he was in the game with.
The ones.
Yes. And that was the point I made in my question to him post-game. I said, you not only put Drew Aller in, but you put him in with the ones. So we had the one offensive line, the one tight ends, the one wide receivers. It doesn't really matter what backs in the game.
No, yeah, they can all. Nicholas Singleton had a great game, but they're all capable, and that's why you didn't see a lot of Kevon Lee. I thought we'd see more of Katron Allen, but it was just Singleton's day, so why take out the hot hand?
Well, Allen had the big screen pass for 22 yards. That was huge on a third down play. Was it 3rd and 20? Something like that. 2nd and 20, 3rd and 20, 22-yard screen pass. And Allen's the one on the touchdown pass that Aller throws to Khalil Dinkins, which everybody marvels about. Wow, look how he stepped up. There is no stepping up unless Katron Allen wipes out the guy that's right at Drew's feet.
And that's impressive to begin with, because the reason there's not a lot of freshman running backs in the backfield, mostly on those kinds of passing downs, is because they have trouble picking up blitzes or recognizing where they need to be in pass protection. And Singleton and Allen have shown that they are very capable pass protectors.
And then you look, there's no getting around it. Drew Aller's a great talent. No getting around it.
Yep.
Okay? The ball comes out of his hand like that. He has the ability to put touch on it, like the Evans touchdown pass. And Evans runs a phenomenal route. I mean, you watch the route Evans runs. Evans has take the top off speed. He's got that.
Yeah.
But he ran that route, and man, he got open because of the route he ran. But again, it's great to see that kind of potential on the field. Cam Miller gave a good account of himself. KJ Winston did. Zane Durant, better in game 2 than in game 1. Denai Dennis Sutton, definitely better in game 2 than in game 1. Singleton, Allen, then you start throwing in Amari Evans. Caden Saunders got in, made a couple of catches. Drew Shelton played. Venga Ioane played. And it is Venga, by the way. I mean, but Venga Ioane played.
We really need we need a better pronunciation guide for a lot of. We had debate still about Veyer versus Veyu.
No, it's Veyer.
No, it is Veyer.
Yeah.
I'm getting pushback on Nicholas. It's supposed to be, everyone calls him Nick Singleton.
Except he wants to be called Nicholas. I asked him. How do I know it's Venga Ioane? I asked him.
You talked to him.
All right. How do I know it's Veyer? I asked him.
We called.
How do I know it's Nicholas? I asked him. What do you want, Nick or Nicholas?
So I'm doing it right in all my updates and the way I talk on the show.
Yes.
I'm
just telling you, in talking with them,
yeah,
you go with what they want. Like, I know every once in a while we slip and it's Trey Wallace, and I asked him about that last year for the bowl game. I said, because it's Harrison Wallace III.
Yeah.
So everybody calls him Trey. And there are times in the year I call him Trey. He wants to be called Harrison.
Well, it's like calling Jair Brown Tig.
Right.
Call him Tig.
Same thing.
I've heard you say, that's Jair's out there. It's and then up Tig Brown in coverage.
Yeah.
Tackle made.
Right. And there'll be times where I call him Nick Singleton. Of course there will be. Okay.
But his preference is Nicholas.
His preference is because he and Jaywan and I were talking one day in spring practice.
Yeah.
And the three of us are standing there. And I said, hey, by the way, I've seen it listed as Nicholas, and I hear people call you Nick. What do you prefer? He goes, kind of hesitated for a moment. He says, well, Nicholas. And Jaywan looked over. He says, I didn't know that. It's like, okay.
I just want it on the record, and still to reaffirm this one, Drew Aller.
Aller.
It is Aller, yes.
And
I just want it on the record.
I not only asked Drew, I asked his parents. They seemed to know what it was.
Interesting.
So it's Aller.
Because it's Allar. No,
it's Aller.
Drew Aller. And it was in the pronunciation guide, too, for the rosters.
As Aller.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I asked Drew, and I also made sure I asked his parents. They were at a spring practice. And I didn't have to ask him the next few times I saw him. Right. And it's Perbula, even though Bo didn't get in. But I check with Bo to make sure how you say that. You check because that's part of the job, everybody. That's okay.
Well, you don't want to pronounce their names wrong.
Part of the job is pronouncing names right.
So it's Venga Ioane.
Venga Ioane.
Okay. So we called him Vega Ione before he got on the campus.
It's Venga Ioane.
Venga. Like Jenga?
Evidently, even though it's spelled Vega, right?
No, I'm understanding because DJ Ui Ungalale,
right.
Even though there's no N.
But the Samoan is Venga.
I just want it out there on the record. It's also for my mental notes.
Right? It's, that's what they want. That's what they want.
Okay.
Cam Miller. I think I got that one. I feel good.
All right. Maybe I'll double check with him if I run into him.
Okay. Got that one. We're good. Like, for example, he's listed as Kevin Winston. Okay. I talked to him the other day because I knew he was going to get in the game. I said, hey, I just want to make sure. KJ or Kevin? He goes, no, KJ.
Cool.
All right. That, it's part of the job. I want to make sure. One of them was Barney Amore.
Right. Could have been Amer or Amore.
I made sure with Gabe Wosu.
Yeah, that was one that everyone was saying no Wosu.
Right. It's Wosu. The end is silent. You check to check. And believe me, you check with everybody. You check with walk-ons too. How many guys got in the game on Saturday? And part of the job when they get in the game on Saturday is I do try very hard, and I think it's important, that you mention every name you can that gets in the game.
Yeah.
Because that's great for their family, great for their friends. They're in the game. They are busting their backsides, working hard. So you want to make sure you mention a Cody Romano or Robbie Dwyer.
Right.
that get into a game like that. Jake Wilson. You try to get as many of those names in as possible. And yes, and JB Nelson, by the way, did play. But JB wore 56 on Saturday.
Okay, that's what I thought, because on the roster I said, gosh, who's 56? And then I said that, and everyone's like, oh, well, that's Amin Vanover. I was like, Vanover plays defensive end. Hold on a second.
What happened was, and this was a late change.
Not enough tide for the jersey.
I'm talking about, when I mean late change, I literally was walking into the booth about a half hour before, and Greg Kincaid said, it said to me, hey, Steve, he said, JB's going to wear 56. I said, okay. I mean, I didn't know, maybe in a game like that, if you're using backup personnel on a special team, Fatorba Molba and Nelson might have been backups together in the same, special team. That's why you need to have separate numbers. Whereas Vanover wouldn't be. The tricky one's going to be on Saturday. Auburn has 2 punt returners. Johnson, a wide receiver, and Keontae Brown. They both wear 6.
And one plays offense, one plays defense?
Yep. So what you're going to have to do, watch warm-ups. I talked to Andy Burcham today about this. And I said, Andy, other than body type, how can you tell? And he said, one wears a wristband on one side and the other one wears a wristband on the other side.
Oh, good.
I said, okay.
Well, what if you forget which side? I know you won't, but I'm saying in general.
I mean, it turns out those are the 2 punt returners they use. Johnson's returned 3 this year, and Brown's returned 1 or 2. Okay? Yeah, it's part of the job. You figure it out. It's no big deal. It's just part of the job. I remember one year, and they finally changed this rule. They did change this rule. Michigan had 3 kickers that were number 3. Really? Right. Jim, stop trying to outthink the world. Just do the job.
I hope they enjoy their preseason. I really...
Oh, they got UConn next.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, what do you learn from that? I don't know. I'm talking about multiple games like that.
Yes.
Penn State learned a lot Saturday with Ohio University. They learned a lot.
They also learned a lot with Purdue the week before.
Right. But in this game where you played a lot of people, noon start, your players took it seriously, got out, got the job done, got a lead, won the middle 8 again, which then in turn allowed you to open the floodgates and get valuable experience for people. Okay? That's what they got out of it. For Michigan, they're going to have 3 straight games like that. What are you going to learn? I have no idea. None. But look, you watch Drew throw the ball, and Sean played a terrific game.
Well, you don't need, and here's the thing.
Sean played a terrific game. 70%. Right.
What does Sean Clifford need to show you against Ohio by playing 4 quarters?
No, it was the right move.
What does he need to work on against the Bobcats where he would need to play 4 quarters?
He just went out and played a good game. Sean Clifford played really well on Saturday, right? And then he was done.
No turnovers.
Right? Then the other guy comes in, and he's terrific.
Played well.
Veyer comes in. Veyer was terrific. Okay.
No turnovers.
That was a fun day.
I think they wiped the floor with Auburn. I know we're talking Ohio and what happened on Saturday.
But
I
Auburn
really
is a team I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I can't tell much. I can tell you right now the players that impress me. Tank Bigsby always impresses me. I think Hunter's a good running back too. Robbie Ashford is an interesting second-string quarterback that will play. He had gone to Oregon. He spent a year there. He had gone to Oregon where he could play both football and baseball. He spent a year there, and, I mean, you talk about not working out. It did not work out. He hated that place. He couldn't stand it. So he got out. Then he goes to Auburn. He's from Hoover, Alabama. He gets in the game. Now, he threw the ball against Mercer. He did not throw the ball against San Jose State. It was all runs by him. But he's got great speed. And when you do see him throw the ball, he throws the ball like he's a baseball player. I mean, he throws it. I mean, like he's got zing. Finley's the quarterback. Schenker is a terrific tight end. No getting around it. Right now, they don't have what you call a standout receiver. And I'll tell you on defense, 29, Derek Hall. That is one heck of a football player right there. You need to find him on every play. Cam Riley, 13, is also really good, right? But Hall, 29, I'm sitting there watching. I'm thinking to myself, I thought he was really good last year. He's better this year. But they played Mercer and San Jose State. I cannot tell you how good they are. Carlson's a good kicker. Oscar Chapman's a good punter. Okay. But it's hard to gauge where they are. And I watched San Jose State play a good chunk of that game with the lead. But then when they lost the lead, San Jose State would not deviate from what they were doing. Maybe they're not capable of it. But they got to like the 47, 48-yard line in the fourth quarter. They had like a 4th down and 2. He punted. It's like, he punted.
And that's just it. It's coaching. I think that James Franklin and the staff will run circles around Brian Harsin on Saturday.
But I'm talking about San Jose State punted.
Yeah, right.
And he's a good coach. He's done a great job with San Jose State. He really is. He's done a really nice job with San Jose State. So this is not me knocking him as a coach, but at that point you kind of felt like, okay, what are you going to pin them down there and your defense going to get 3 and out? Not so sure about that because now you're not winning the game anymore. Because San Jose, you know how many times San Jose State went for it on 4th down in that game? None. They didn't go for it once. And that was one where I thought they should have gone for it because now the clock's starting to play against you. But he knows more about coaching than I'll ever dream about coaching. So I'm just saying it was a move that confused me a bit. I thought, I see this slipping away from you. You're going to have to change the dynamic of what's going on out there. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with more in a moment. Great to have you with us today as we continue on ESPN Radio.
I'm Michael Jenkins, helping you beat the books with BetQL. The Dodgers were the first team to clinch a playoff spot in Major League Baseball. LA will be in Arizona facing rookie pitcher Nelson, who is making just his 2nd Major League start, but carried an ERA over 5 at AAA this season. The Dodgers bats have been getting it done lately, scoring at least 6 runs in 6 of their last 8 games. A rookie pitcher, red-hot bats, and the best team in baseball. It all adds up to taking the over as the BetQL 5-star play of the day between LA and Arizona.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Bundling home and car insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? They may drop little hints like,
beautiful day out. Even more beautiful since we saved by bundling our home and car insurance with Geico.
Or,
yard work is hard. Much harder than bundling with Geico, which was easy.
Or it may be even subtler, like,
speaking of burgers, we bundled our home and car insurance with Geico and saved a bunch of money.
Bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
Are you ready? MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Right now, get a special BOGO offer from Bosch. Buy a select Bosch 18-volt bare tool, get a battery free. Shop savings on all of our top pro items. Plus, MVPs earn up to 3 times bonus points on select products. Join today and redeem points for products designed to level up your business. Don't miss MVP's bonus days, happening now at Lowe's. Pricing and offers subject to change at any time. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 9/23.
We admit the curb appeal of Beer Belly's beverage is a little limited, but for what you lose in closet space, you gain in awesome space. Lagers facing east, imports facing west, and good times available in every square foot. But unless you're one of the more than 500 labels we carry every day, you'll have to settle for the couch. Beer Belly's beverage. It's where beer lives. Find us on Facebook or at beerliveshere.com.
What do you get when you spill blue and white paint on a Sports Illustrated? That would be Sports Talk with Steve Jones on State College's ESPN Radio 1450. This is your Sports Center update on State College's ESPN Radio 1037 and 1450. Sponsored by Nittany Beverage. With over 60 in-house brewers and suppliers, Nittany Beverage is the area's best choice for all of your beer, cider, and flavored malt needs.
I'm Zach Sako. Penn State football impressed with a 46-10 win over Ohio on Saturday. Nicholas Singleton, who was named Big Ten Freshman of the Week, ran for 179 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was the first 100-yard rushing game at Beaver Stadium since November of 2019 when quarterback Will Levis did it. Speaking of Penn State quarterbacks, freshman Drew Aller saw solid action in the second half of the game, throwing for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. Get the full recap of the game, plus a brief preview of Auburn at 4 p.m. with Pay Dirt, a Penn State football show with Tom Hannafin and former Nittany Lion quarterback Matt McGloin. And then stick around at 5 p.m. for Blue and White Breakdown with myself, Zach Sako, and Matt Bortner. Pretty not pretty, it's a phrase used around Penn State men's basketball. The Steelers took that motto into Cincinnati and snuck out with a 23-20 win. Chris Boswell hit a 53-yard game winner. The Steelers' defense forced 5 turnovers, including 4 interceptions from quarterback Joe Burrow, a blocked PAT, and they also sacked Burrow 7 times in the game. Star outside linebacker TJ Watt is being evaluated for a torn pectoral muscle, could miss the remainder of the season. Najee Harris is questionable with a possible high ankle sprain, which could be week to week. And the Philadelphia Eagles went into Detroit, survived a late comeback by the Lions, beating them 38-35. Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are developing a special connection as Brown had well over 100 yards receiving in his Eagles debut. That's your Sports Center update here on State College's ESPN Radio. This Day in Sports History is next.
Well, you probably wouldn't buy a pre-owned mattress, straw, or toothbrush.
Ew.
Pre-owned vehicles are a different story. There's one dealer in Happy Valley that has a great selection of pre-owned vehicles and even Kia certified pre-owned vehicles. It's Lion Country Kia. Ride with the confidence of a certified pre-owned Kia from Lion Country Kia. Get a vehicle 5 years or newer with mileage less than 60,000 miles. Each certified pre-owned vehicle features a thorough 164-point quality assurance inspection and reinstates Kia's original manufacturer's warranty. There's even a free 90-day XM Sirius subscription. Lion Country Kia has a large selection of certified pre-owned vehicles and a great selection of other brands to choose from too. No guesswork, just the confidence of a Kia certified pre-owned vehicle. Only at Lion Country Kia, 1334 Driveland Street, off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
Honor Penn State Athletics military veterans with the opening of the new exhibit, I Am a Penn Stater, Nittany Lions in World War II, at the Penn State All Sports Museum. I Am a Penn Stater chronicles the contributions these athletes made during the conflict, from their training to fighting on battlefields to their post-war occupations. Check out their letters, photographs, diaries, and artifacts today at the Penn State All Sports Museum, located at the southwest corner of Beaver Stadium. Go to psusports.com/museum or call 865-0044.
At Nittany Beverage, we love beer. We like drinking beer. We like talking about beer. We know beer. And we know you love beer too. Whether you prefer domestic, imports, craft, or IPAs, we can help you select the perfect beer for the perfect situation. Even better, you don't even have to leave your vehicle. So when it comes to buying beer, There really is only one choice, Nittany Beverage. Make it your choice. Visit them just off West College Avenue near downtown and online at nittanybeverage.com.
Come visit the all-new Chronix Jewelers in State College. Chronix Jewelers is celebrating their grand reopening sale. Take a break from inflation prices and save up to 60% now on diamond engagement rings, diamond pendants, and diamond stud earrings. Save big on wedding bands and color stone jewelry. Visit the all-new Chronix Jewelers on Atherton Street, State College. See the most stunning store in town and save money. Chronix carries by far the largest inventory in the area. Looking for engagement rings or wedding bands? Don't miss this one-time opportunity to save our diamond stud earrings in your future. Meet the fine people at Chronix. Lay away and save. Chronix grand reopening, the area's largest selection. See why the competition hates it. Gorgeous store and drastic price reductions. Chronix Jewelers, North Atherton Street, State College. And remember, Chronix offers super easy financing for those who qualify. Some exclusions may apply.
Joel Confer Quality Pre-Owned in Pleasant Gap is your one-stop shop automotive stop for the Center Region's best in quality pre-owned vehicles. Best because they're handpicked by Joel and Sonny while using their over 100 years of automotive experience in doing so. Best because they're serviced, reconditioned, and priced to sell. Best because they put their reputation on the line to assure you of a carefree driving experience. Best because Joel Confer Quality Pre-Owned in Pleasant Gap will give you top dollar for your trade-in. And best because they care enough to make sure you're getting the vehicle that's right for you. Come see the Joel Confer Quality Pre-Owned difference for yourself. Joel Confer Quality Pre-Owned, 475 East College Avenue in Pleasant Gap. Call 814-954-5237. That's 814-954-5237. Or visit them 24/7 online at joelconferqualitypreowned.com.
ESPN Radio 1037 and its fellow State College Forever Media stations is the flagship for Penn State athletics. We bring you all the blue and white that you can handle. Football.
Touchdown! Exclamation point! Nittany Lions!
Men's and women's basketball.
And the Nittany Lions get the win they needed in the 400th game for Penn State in the Jordan Center.
Men's ice hockey.
Center point drive. He scores!
Wrestling.
Take down Nick Lane! He popped in behind, and he wins it in sudden victory. 9 seconds.
Softball and baseball.
Called strike 3 on the breaking ball across the inside corner.
All your favorite Penn State teams in one convenient location. The flagship partner for Penn State athletics is ESPN Radio 1037. This is State College's ESPN Radio 1037 and 1450. Back to Sports Talk with Steve Jones and a look at this day in sports history. Sponsored by Joel Confer Quality Pre-Owned in Pleasant Gap. Imports, cars, trucks, and SUVs. You'll find them all at Joel Confer Quality Pre-Owned in Pleasant Gap. Stop by today and let Joel or Sonny save you money on your new vehicle. And if you're in need of financing, you can talk to Cameron about their great financing rates.
September 12th, 1885, the highest score is recorded in any first-class soccer match, 35 goals.
See? Not every game of the pitch is 2-1, 1-0.
1911, two Baseball Hall of Fame pitchers duel for the final time. The Boston Rustlers Cy Young and Christy Mathewson of the Giants. New York does win 11-2.
Well, obviously, Cy Young didn't have a great day.
He probably still threw about eight innings.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, he probably threw a complete game. Today you go 5 innings. They go, see, man, I went all the way. No,
quality start.
Still 4 more innings.
What? 1914 Yankee shortstop Roger Peckinpah at the age of 23 becomes the youngest manager.
You notice that in the history of the Yankees, there are no championships with Roger Peckinpah as the manager. 0. None.
Fun fact.
0.
1947, Pittsburgh's Baseball Hall of Fame left fielder Ralph Kiner hits 2 home runs in the Pirates' 4-3 win over the Boston Braves at Forbes Field. It's the record 8th home run in 4 games.
Oh, he was a great home run hitter. Then as a baseball broadcaster, he was always interesting. Bob Murphy, Lindsey Nelson, Ralph Kiner. Did the Mets for years. I worked with Bob Murphy once. Murphy's a great guy, great announcer.
1979, Carl Yastrzemski gets his 3,000th hit off of New York Yankee Jim Beatty.
Yep. Yaz was the first player in the history of the American League with 400 home runs and 3,000 hits. Cal Ripken Jr. was the second.
1981, Red Sox rookie Bob Ojeda no-hits the Yankees.
Bobby Ojeda.
Ojeda, excuse me.
It's okay. It's spelled O-J-E-D-A, right?
Yes.
Bobby Ojeda. And I apologize for correcting you on the air.
No, that's okay. No-hits the Yankees for 8 innings before Dave Winfield leads off in the 9th with a double.
Well, that stinks. Ojeda then went on to the Mets. He actually pitched pretty well for the Mets, too.
1984, Mets pitcher Dwight Gooden sets the rookie strikeout record at 251.
I'll tell you, he'll be the first to tell you, obviously, the extracurricular activity, especially drug activity, hurt him because he would have had an absolute great career.
2004, the Detroit Lions beat the Chicago Bears 20-16 at Soldier Field to snap their NFL record 24-game losing streak.
Derek Williams was on that 0-16 Lions team. If you don't think pros care, he told Jack and me, he says, it was torture. The 0-16, he says, you felt tortured.
We'll finish just 1 year ago, U.S. Open men's tennis. Russia's Daniil Medvedev wins his first major title by shattering Novak Djokovic's hopes of completing a Grand Slam in a one-sided 3 straight sets final.
And this year, Djokovic wasn't allowed to come into New York. Sorry, you can't show up. All right. Back, ladies and gentlemen, from a tour of Greece where he wowed Athens, and I mean wowed Athens. There are people, I'm getting texts left and right from the Parthenon about his appearances and how he imparted Penn State football knowledge to them, and they are still talking about it in Greece. Nate Bauer.
Not a ton of Penn State fans in the Grecian islands this time of year, Steve. You'll be surprised to learn.
Yet I will tell you that the ones that are there, wowed.
That's all that matters. That's all that counts.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you? It's great to be back.
Yeah, it's great to have you back. And everybody got a chance. Look, I talked to Dusty Dvorak for about, 45 minutes on Friday morning. And we were talking about, at one point, the quarterbacks. And I said, you can be looking down at your spot board or whatever. I said, you'll know when Drew Aller comes in. And he laughed. He goes, yeah, you're probably right. So, look, Sean Clifford played really well. So let's put that to the side of the first. What'd you think of the kid?
No, he's good. Look, I'm struggling with this balance, right? Because it seems like it's necessary to allow for the enthusiasm for him that is warranted. Right? Like, I mean, look, that throw to Omari Evans, right?
Yep.
Was perfect. Okay.
Yep.
And from the press box, it was funny. A buddy of mine texted me, and he was just like, "Oh my goodness, that ball was on the money." And my instinct was, nah, it didn't look that way to me. Like, it looked like Evans kind of ran it out and got under the pass, right? Like, it didn't feel as though the pass was that perfect. And then I saw about 4 replays of it, and it was like, oh no, that was fantastic.
Yeah,
that was a perfect ball that he threw.
But let's go. Let's go to the freshman receiver. Watch the route he runs. He's open because of the route he ran. That was a fabulous route.
It is all of the things, and you know, I feel like we talk about this occasionally, but James Franklin does not get enough credit for his honesty in terms of the assessments that he provides, right? I mean, I think that when you look at this true freshman class, he's been talking about it since June, right? I mean, he's been talking about not only the guys that came in January, but just the class as a whole and what their potential was for this season. And so I think that there's been, again, not only for the media in terms of how we present this information, but for James Franklin himself, he's tried to, not go overboard in how he talks about these guys. But there's no question that the buzz and the excitement and all the things that happened in the stadium in the second half on Saturday afternoon all align. They all align with everything that's been talked about for the past 6 months.
I mean, to me, what they've done, besides getting several into the rotation, they've changed the depth quotient here. And I think that is a big element here, because you look at any of the top teams, they're able to absorb problems, and they all have them. Everybody does. Clemson has them, Ohio State has them, Alabama has them, but they've been able to absorb it. This class allows them to absorb it, I think.
I think very much so. I actually wrote about it yesterday that Penn State needed to beat somebody up, right? This has been a 2-year deal where they just haven't, and obviously the COVID year was what it was, but they just haven't had the opportunities to comfortably get backups in the games. And Franklin talked about it this offseason. I think that he realized and somewhat acknowledged that there were some circumstances last year that were probably a mistake, right? That it ended up hurting them, obviously at Iowa, but even after Iowa, that they hadn't been able to, and again, this is kind of a combination of factors, but that they hadn't been able to take advantage of that Indiana game, right? The Ball State game.
Right.
They won 44 to
even the Villanova game, because they put the offense out there, and then Villanova against the thirds put together 2 long time consuming drives. The offense never really got out there.
Very much so. Very much so. And so the chances that they had last season were wasted. And if you look at the way that those 2 games played out, Ball State last year and obviously Ohio on Saturday, they were actually very similar in terms of the score at the half and how the game was kind of proceeding. But Penn State was able to they made the decision to get Auer in the game as soon as they did in the second half, and it paid dividends. They desperately needed a situation like they had on Saturday. It's not going to get a ton of publicity, but they really needed to have an opportunity like that, and they took advantage of it.
Well, what was interesting to me, and it was when we interviewed James afterward, part of my question was he not only put Drew Aller in the game, he put them in with the ones.
Yep.
See, and I think that was invaluable to Drew, that he worked with the ones in a game situation.
Totally. I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now, but it had look. You don't necessarily know how you're going to draw these things up, right? But you have to get guys like Drew involved in the season. He was never going to be, or it didn't appear to me at any point this offseason that it was ever his show, right? He wasn't going to actually challenge Sean Clifford for that starting spot. But you got to be able to find and carve out spaces to involve him, to get him as part of the action. And guys like, obviously, Nick Singleton was going to make a push. There are some other guys that are in that realm of Dennis Sutton has to play. You have to find a way to get these guys to play in today's day and age of transfer portal and NIL and all of those other things. And they've been able to draw that up and do it perfectly through the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's interesting because Dennis Sutton, look, what was interesting to me is every freshman played better in this game than they did the first game. Dennis Sutton played much better in this game than the first game. Remember, he didn't come in until the middle or latter part of May, I think, something like that, because McDonough doesn't let you leave early. And this is what...
You know what, Steve? It was actually June 11th.
June 11th, okay. June 11th?
Yep.
And so he didn't have the spring here.
Yep.
And he's already playing, and I think that's really important along the way. What were a couple of other things maybe under the radar that you saw that you liked?
Well, obviously Singleton isn't under the radar. He's front and center, but
right.
It's huge. It's huge. It changes everything. And I thought that what Franklin brought up in the post game summarized it perfectly, because it's not just about the fact that he can break off an 80-yard run. It's the fact that defensive coordinators now have to account for it.
Mm-hmm.
And defensive coordinators accounting for it completely changes the complexion of the season for Sean Clifford and for Mike Yurcich.
And can I add one other part to that? For anybody who's asking why Drew Aller ran, when he comes into the game, if he has to come into a game, if he does, guess what? They know he can do it. It's on tape. That's why they put it in there.
Yep, very much so. And so those, I think that those are, it's not the front and center. Nick Singleton being spectacular and Drew Aller being spectacular or really good are their own thing. That's what's going to be front and center. But the ramifications and the things that it does to open up the offense for all of those other pieces. Hey, surprise, surprise, the offensive line is a lot better when Nick Singleton runs for 70 yards. Right?
Yeah. Instant improvement.
Instant improvement. And so, I think that those are important. But I do actually think that the offensive line did take a little bit of a step on Saturday. I thought that some of the blocks that set up those runs were better. Beyond that, Abdul Carter is the real deal.
Yep.
He's instinct. So that's I think is important. I think that I have two questions coming out of Saturday. I still have a little bit of question about that defensive line, and I'm starting to wonder why some of the interception opportunity. It was kind of a one-off. Maybe it felt like against Purdue, but I thought that there were some opportunities that Penn State secondary wasn't able to corral on Saturday as well. That look, these are you got to make the play. You got to interceptions are life changing, as Anthony Poindexter once said.
Yeah.
So you got to capitalize when those opportunities come, and certainly I think in Findlay this weekend they're going to have some more of those opportunities that you got to maximize.
Yeah, he threw two against San Jose State in the first half, which were important. I feel like a broken record. I feel like I'm saying exactly the same thing I said a year ago. You watch Auburn through two games, and I have no idea how good they are.
Yes. The running backs are good.
Well, Bigsby, Hunter, Alston, they're good. Tight end, Schenker, really good. Hall, 29, the defensive end. Whoa, big-time player. I mean, NFL player. A lot of the other stuff, I'm not sure. Riley's 13, the inside linebacker, is a good player. But everything else, I'm not sure about. I just don't know.
I can tell you that based on the reactions of some of the Auburn communities that I perused online today, they're not real sure either.
Right.
Those fans aren't real sure either. Not a ton of satisfaction about how that game played out for them on Saturday.
Yeah, and I thought San Jose State was really well prepared, but I felt like that when they got behind, they kept trying to rely on the same game plan, and he never once went for it on fourth down.
Yeah.
Like, geez, come on, play to win.
Yeah,
Right,
it's funny, but I gave Ohio a lot of credit for that on Saturday.
Oh yeah,
right?
no,
late in the first half to keep coming.
Yep.
To not pack it up.
No. I agree with you, and I like. By the way, Rourke's numbers are not good in the game. I thought Rourke, the quarterback, played very well despite what his numbers say.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback.
Yes,
he's a good quarterback. It was very clear from that FAU game. I didn't do a ton of research on Ohio, but that's an offense that can play, and he's a quarterback who can play, and Penn State should probably feel pretty good about giving up just 10 on Saturday.
All right, great to have you back. Watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding. That's really good. That'll be good for you. Don't watch don't watch the sequel. It doesn't matter.
A lot of cucumbers in my diet now. Cucumbers, green peppers,
olives.
Right? Olives, always. Yeah.
Got to keep you alive. Yeah.
Something like that.
Those 300-yard drives down the middle, wedge to the green. One of these
live for it.
I always refer to it as Jack Ham wedge when Barney Moore puts it down there. All right, I can tell you right now.
He can play.
Oh no, he can play.
Barney.
Oh, he can play.
Barney.
No doubt. He's quietly been terrific. So.
Yep.
And
punter you.
In fact, you could help me out. Which number 6 is back there on punt returns for Auburn? That'd be great. Thanks.
I'll check in with you on Saturday.
They both. I'm literally gonna watch warm-ups, and I'm gonna see. I guess one of them wears a wristband, and I got to figure out which one it is. So that's all these little things you got to do. Whatever.
You're a veteran. You're a pro's pro. You've been doing this for decades. Yeah. I can count on you.
It's my job to get it done. All right. My friend, thank you. See you down there.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Nate Bauer on 3.com, Blue White Illustrated. Come back with more in a moment. He joined us on the Andrew M. Moore Tree Surgeon Hotline, sponsored by Andrew M. Moore Tree Surgeon, serving the Center Region since 1975. Call 814-234-0186 on ESPN Radio.
Are you ready for week 2 of Thursday Night Football? Get ready.
Absolutely.
Are you ready for week 2 of Thursday Night Football? Get ready for week 2 of touchdowns, big plays, and even bigger wins with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. Want more action? Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. It's simple. Bet on Los Angeles or Kansas City to win. And if your team leads by 7 points at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code WQWK to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code WQWK, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only. Bonuses issued as free bets. One early win token issued at opt-in moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms in partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Surgeons keep our hearts beating. They do the amazing, help save lives, and so can you. Your CSL plasma donation can help create 24 critical life-saving medicines that can give Grandpa the chance for his heart to swell when he meets his new grandson, or give a bride the chance for her heart to skip a beat on her wedding day. Every plasma donation helps more than you know. Do the amazing. Help save lives. Donate today at your local CSL Plasma Center and be rewarded for your generosity.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on ESPN 1450.
Chris Boswell's 53-yard field goal as time expired wins it for the Steelers at overtime, 23-20 at Cincinnati. Steelers with a 7-point road dog. Win paid out plus 270 of the money line. T.J. Watt did leave the game with what is feared to be a torn pec muscle. Running back Najee Harris left the game as well with a foot injury. Steelers at Acrisure Stadium Sunday against the New England Patriots. Steelers opened as a 1.5 favorite at Caesars. Pick 'em at other books. Total 41.5. The Panthers laying 12 at Western Michigan on Saturday. The Penn State Nittany Lions a 3-point road favorite of the Auburn Tigers. Red hot winning picks available. Experts.winnersandwiners.com. Save 75% on any Best Bets package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75. Experts.winnersandwiners.com. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sun at ESPN 1450.
O'Reilly. Improve fuel mileage with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner at O'Reilly Auto Parts. A clean fuel system can increase your vehicle's performance and gas mileage. Get Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner starting at $9.99 and earn 10 times O Rewards points on your purchase. Get the most out of every gallon. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or shop O'ReillyAuto.com today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's bedtime at the home of SiriusXM, but Conan O'Brien is still awake.
Turns out you don't need a car to listen to SiriusXM. You can listen to the app anywhere, in your room, by the pool, at the
And Brad Paisley just really needs his beauty sleep.
Conan, I just really need my beauty sleep. Maybe really expensive boat, like a yacht.
The waves could rock you gently to sleep.
Don't encourage him, guys.
Oh, sorry. Night-night. Everything you want to hear lives here on SiriusXM. Get the SiriusXM app now.
The winds are blowing and the leaves are starting to fall. Be sure to examine your trees for broken limbs, split trunks, and dead wood. Doing a self-inspection now can save you a hassle later. If you have tree problems, call Andrew Moore Tree Surgeon. Andy is a certified arborist with a horticultural degree from Penn State, and certified arborist Robert Burfield is a full partner with over 18 years experience. Andy and Rob take pride in providing expert service to homeowners and businesses. They have a solid reputation of customer satisfaction with their attention to detail and prompt, courteous service. With nearly 60 years of tree healthcare experience, Andy and Robert have seen it all. So whether it's trimming, pruning, removing dead or storm-damaged limbs to protect your home or property, tree or stump removal, or an evaluation of your trees, depend on Andrew M. Moore Tree Surgeon to get the job done right. They're fully insured and offer 24-hour phone service at 814-234-0186. Don't trust your trees to just anyone. Trust Andrew M. Moore Tree Surgeon, serving the Center region since 1975. Call 814-234-0186.
You've probably noticed a lot of changes in downtown State College over the years, but the Tavern Restaurant is still there, serving up the same great experience locals and Penn State fans alike have come to know and love since 1948. Enjoy your dinner and drinks in their recently renovated building, complete with a bit of Penn State history and a great view of Old Main. Going strong for over 70 years, visit the historic Tavern Restaurant in downtown State College today. Go to thetavern.com for hours, menus, and to reserve your table. Joel Coffer Quality Pre-Owned in Pleasant Gap is your one-stop shop automotive stop for the Center Region's best in quality pre-owned vehicles. Best because they're handpicked by Joel and Sonny while using their over 100 years of automotive experience in doing so. Best because they're serviced, reconditioned, and priced to sell. Best because they put their reputation on the line to assure you of a carefree driving experience. Best because Joel Coffer Quality Pre-Owned in Pleasant Gap will give you top dollar for your trade-in. And best because they care enough to make sure you're getting the vehicle that's right for you. Come see the Joel Comfort Quality Pre-Owned difference for yourself. Joel Comfort Quality Pre-Owned, 475 East College Avenue in Pleasant Gap. Call 814-954-5237. That's 814-954-5237. Or visit them 24/7 online at joelcomfortqualitypreowned.com.
If you're a nurse or medical professional, you'll want to pay close attention to the following message. It takes a special kind of person to thrive in elder care. Maybe that special person is you. Center Care is hiring, and now's a great time for you to join their team.
Applications are currently being accepted for the following full and part-time positions. Dietary aides with pay up to $14.87 per hour and $1,000 sign-on bonus. LPNs with compensation up to $30.25 per hour and up to a $4,000 sign-on bonus. And CNAs with pay of up to $17.34 per hour and up to a $3,500 sign-on bonus. Center Care also offers shift differential pay, plus great benefits too, including medical, dental, vision, and life insurance. When you work with Center Care, you'll work with some of the best employees and healthcare administrators in Center County in a brand new modern facility.
To learn more or to apply, visit centercare.org. That's centercare.org, an equal opportunity employer.
Kick off football season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Join today to get started with $150 in free bets, guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up with promo code PLAY to get in on the action. You can even combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 in free bets, win or lose, with promo code PLAY. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, and Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-877-70-STOP in Louisiana. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789 in Tennessee. 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia.
This is Sports Talk with Steve Jones on ESPN Radio 1037 and 1450. Now, the play-by-play call of the day. Sponsored by Nittany Beverage. With over 60 in-house brewers and suppliers, Nittany Beverage is the area's best choice for all of your beer, cider, and flavored malt needs.
This is the best play-by-play I have ever heard.
Boswell trying to get it done. Snap, placement, kick on the way. Boswell! That's a winner! Unforgettable season opener! And the Steelers outlast the Bengals in overtime.
Lion Country Kia Sports Talk with Steve Jones. Live on ESPN Radio 1037 and 1450. Featuring interviews and conversation from the voice of Penn State football and basketball. Now, here's Steve Jones.
Great to have you with us on the show today. The Steelers beat the Bengals, the defending AFC champions in the opener. I believe they did the same thing to the Bills last year in the opener.
And looked the exact same way doing it.
Question will be how do they survive? Without TJ Watt.
Well, encouraging news. It might be a partial tear, which means he wouldn't need surgery right away, and that he wouldn't have to miss the entirety of the season.
There you go. A pivotal guy in what you're doing. Injured. Again. He's becoming the Giancarlo Stanton of the NFL.
Well, Kreider, Andy Kreiser of Black and Gold Breakdown, likes to call him the Teflon Don. And he's called him that since before he signed the contract.
That's okay, because I always refer to him as direct deposit. He's double D, direct deposit.
Direct deposit and Teflon Don.
When he plays, again, these are always dangerous words. Right? I always find them dangerous words. When he plays, he is a terrific player. When he plays, he's a great player. The problem is when you use the sentence, when he plays, that means there are a number of times he doesn't play. And when he doesn't play, he's doing nothing.
Well, like big brother, like little brother. J.J. Watt was out of the Cardinals-Chiefs game. I thought he was full go. I didn't know he had any injury concerns, and he didn't play on Sunday. And T.J. Watt has battled his fair share of injuries or just misses extended drives or whatever. But when he's on the field, he's easily the best player the Steelers have on their roster.
And these are all fluke things. What happened to him was a fluke thing. What happened to Dak Prescott's a fluke thing.
Yeah, that's just right. Unfortunate. Donovan Smith, that's a fluke thing. What happened with Connor McGovern? Guy fell on him. Fluke. It's because it's not because these guys aren't unconditioned. They're in the best shape of their lives. But man, watching some of these games, and I'm like, that is why I hate the sport, because of all of that incidental. It's just crap.
It's all fluke stuff. It's not conditioning stuff. Now you see a guy, yank a hamstring, you didn't stretch right. Okay, but that's not what's happening, and that's hard. That's why it is so hard to negotiate a season when what is currently 17 games is going to become 18. And this is why the Players Association was against all this stuff. They were against.
I'm against it too. I know what it means. More money, bigger TV deals, more endorsements. I get it, but at what cost?
Yeah.
I was completely fine with 16 games. I think you should have shortened the preseason anyway. I like a 3-game preseason, a 16-game schedule.
Well,
I think it should have been 6 teams on each side in the playoffs, but I know that doesn't move the dollar. I know it doesn't stretch it. I know.
Look, and everything is about the money. I mean, everything is about the money.
What is the bottom dollar? And that's fine. But guys signed off on it. I know it wasn't.
They barely signed off on. Remember, it was on average 32-30 in favor of the contract per team. 32-30. That's how close this was to not being passed.
I think that's why you saw some guys retire early too. Mostly because they couldn't keep a job, but some guys just said, "You know what? I'm good. Enough's enough."
I mean, that's
can't do 18 game schedule's coming. Well, it's going to stay at 17 for a while. No,
it's not.
18 games are coming probably. No. I would say in the next year or two. I wouldn't be surprised if they do the promotion where the NFL season is back better than ever, and it's even longer now. An 18th all new game.
It's our biggest season ever.
Yep,
that's what they'll call it.
And just 2 years later, it's our biggest season ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they want. I mean, the NFL owners want 18. They don't.
Why do they care? They don't lift a finger.
Right.
They sign paychecks. Right. That's the most excruciating work that they do.
I mean,
I just don't know that it's sustainable. I think you're going to see shorter careers just in general. I think willingly and unwillingly, you're going to see shorter careers by these people.
It's too much. Now look at Saquon Barkley yesterday.
Oh, did he have a big game? I was seeing all the criticism and bad takes about Saquon Barkley is he's a has-been, he's no good, he's a bust as the number 2 pick.
Again, this is all comments made by people who don't understand injuries.
Don't understand football.
Yeah, but they don't understand injuries. So let's bring it back for a moment. They think because they wake up every morning and there's no ache or pain, life's good. All right,
because they don't exercise a day in their life.
Well, no, I know. I mean, a lot of people do, but my point is this: when you have a knee injury, as great as knee surgery is today, it is so much better than 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Oh yeah, if you tore your ACL back then, you were hereby done.
I mean, Gale Sayers had to bust his backside to come back from his. And he had a 1,000-yard rushing season, but he was never the same compared to the mercurial cut, turn, everything that he could do, which was just unbelievable.
But look what it did for look what it did for Adrian Peterson, for example.
Right.
Had the best season of his career after he came back from knee surgery.
So now, for the most part, you can come back a year later. Because remember, when Barkley got hurt, it was in a regular season game at Chicago.
Yeah.
Which means the season had started. So when Barkley came back, he was 10 and a half months removed when they started training camp. He was still less than a year removed a year ago. When you come back from something like that, you are functional. No getting around it. And you've got to be able to fight your way through it, which Saquon did.
Right.
But it's the second year. Now you've got it all back. Gee, what was yesterday? the start of year what? 2?
Year
really?
2.
I wasn't surprised that he had that kind of jump, that kind of speed, right? Now, we already know he has the power. He showed that on the 2-point conversion, right? And that's what happens, right? Tim Frazier, Achilles injury.
Yeah, those are hard to come back
Happened
from.
down in Puerto Rico. Tim could take 5 guys on a college basketball floor, and he could blow by all 5 guys. Then when he had the Achilles, he came back, and he came back 11 months after he hurt it. He could still blow by a couple of guys. He couldn't get by the third. Then you notice that when he got to the G League, 2 years removed, boom, that burst was back. And that burst got him into the NBA, where he still played in the NBA last year. Kobe Bryant ruptured his Achilles. Kobe Bryant, oh boy, I can't believe how great Kobe played well when he came back. He did, but he didn't play great.
He was also older.
Right, but he played well. He didn't play great. Then the second year back, he played terrific.
I love listening to him just speak candidly about work ethic and determination and what it takes to be the best, where he just speaks just one-on-one with somebody, maybe a moderator or a host of a public speaking event, and where they just ask him, what did you have to do to remain the best? And it's just, words can't describe just what his mentality was like, and I wish he didn't go so soon, because I think he was well ahead of his time. Like he said, he's like, I just studied the best. He's like, I took every single person that was successful and I studied what they did and how they did it. And then I tried to take the best attributes of each and put them into my game.
So a guy gets back from an injury. My point is, right? That doesn't mean they're back to where they were.
Right.
There are certain injuries, Saquon's being one, that take a little more time, where now all the tumblers fall into place. You saw that yesterday. Okay? With Kobe Bryant and Tim Frazier and Achilles, takes a little time, where that second year you really got that jump back, right? And and it's hard for fans to understand injuries. Unless you have, and believe me, there are enough people now that need a hip replacement, a knee replacement, things like that. So they have a better understanding of some of those things. There's no question. But especially a younger fan, no clue about the reality of you may be back, but you're not all the way back yet. You're functional. There are certain injuries that fall into that category.
Yeah.
And as great as knee surgery is today, it's still invasive. There was still something inside that was torn. And it takes time, and then once it's fully healed, wow, then it becomes a lot of fun. The Achilles, that's why I brought that up with about Tim and Kobe Bryant. That stuff happens. And you get, and there has to be a better understanding. Well, I mean, do I expect there to be understanding on Twitter? Of course not.
Twitter? What?
I know. Shocking.
Understanding. Sympathy. Empathy.
No.
Knowledge. What?
No. There's certain things that...
Not my favorite website.
But that is... there's a reality to it. No question.
Oh, this is speaking of Twitter, Chap Robinson's on Twitter. This person says, the husband telling dad jokes on Saturday at the Penn State football game. I asked, what is Chop Robinson's real name? And my husband said, oh, Chop is actually his middle name. And I responded back, well, what's his first name? And the husband said, Pork. And he laughed himself sick. And Chop Robinson retweeted it and said, that's a good one.
It's Demarius. But we've already told the story. 14-pound baby, Dad's calling him pork chop. You finally got to the point where I don't think I can go through life being no pork chop. So he says, I'll go with chop.
So is Damien another nickname for him?
Well, I think his name is Demarius, right? I believe.
Let's see here. Chop Robinson. Because I love the nickname Chop, and I think that's...
Well, I use it all. That's how I use all the time. It's Chop.
Okay, his actual name is Damien.
Well, Damien.
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Damien Chop Robinson.
Oh. I'll admit, I'm surprised.
Son of Tracy and John Robinson. He has 7 siblings.
Well,
7 siblings.
That I did know.
And he intends to major in criminology at Penn State.
Wow. Imagine that state trooper coming at you. Put your weapons down. Yes, no problem. No problem at all.
After his career in the NFL.
Oh, and he has...
I think he's looked at, out of all the defensive... Okay, I'll say this. P.J. Mustipher has not lost a step. We want to talk about knee surgeries and the innovation and everything. He was the first man off the line of scrimmage almost every single snap.
Yep.
And thank goodness Aeneas Hawkins is on our pre- and post-game show for home games at Beaver Stadium, because he went into just how P.J. Mustipher is a thinker. He's probably the smartest guy on the field every time there's a game. He's definitely one of the smartest in the locker room. And I just said, I don't know if you noticed this, Aeneas, but he was the first one off the line of scrimmage almost every single play. And he's like, yeah, I noticed that too. And he's like, part of that is the mental game. He just knows the cadence. He's looking for the small things that Ohio might give away to say when their play's coming, where their play's going.
They got a little too fast on one.
But honestly, it's a good thing.
Oh, I don't, that didn't bother me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, okay. Believe me, I think there are opportunities in this game. There will be opportunities in this game for sacks that maybe they have not had yet based on style of play. How about that?
Yeah.
There'll be more opportunities on style of play for a sack or two, if not more, based on style of play. And Finley is 6'7".
Oh, he's reminds me of a Cam Newton that just isn't as accurate. And go figure, they're both at Auburn. Go figure, they both transferred in from Auburn after attending another SEC school.
That's their room. Finley's LSU. Ashford is Oregon. Calzada is Texas A&M. Really? I mean, do we, God. Does anybody recruit their own guys anymore? Oh, wait, Penn State does. Penn State's 4 quarterbacks are all recruited. 48% of all starting quarterbacks this year in Division I football, FBS, 48% are transfers. Starters. 48%. Amazing. We'll come back with more in a moment. Great to have you with us today here on ESPN Radio.
On the Penn State Sports Network. From Learfield, this is Inside Penn State Athletics. Here's the voice of the Nittany Lions, Steve Jones.
The Nittany Lion football team ran its record at 2-0, beating Ohio Saturday in Beaver Stadium 46-10. And coming up on Inside Penn State Athletics, we'll hear from head coach James Franklin on the Penn State Sports Network from Learfield.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby. The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey, cheesy, crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously. But as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
In the 46-10 win over Ohio, James Franklin played almost the entire roster.
Yeah, a couple things. Obviously, the priority and the goal had to be to win the game. That goes obviously without saying. But the other thing we needed to do is we needed to get a ton of guys experience in this game. We were able to do that as well. And then hopefully be able to get out of this game healthy and fresh for our starters and have a great week of prep going into this week. I think we were able to do all those things.
James, talk about Chop Robinson. I thought he has just elevated his game in the first two games.
Yeah, and we're going to need it to continue. We got to get more pressure on the quarterback. We got to get more sacks. But he's starting to really flash and I think get more comfortable and more confident with the things that we're asking him to do.
You ran for 234 today. Is that what you wanted out of your running game?
Yeah, I still think we got to get rid of the negative yardage plays or the 0 yardage plays. But to get some explosive runs today, I thought was really important. Obviously Nick being able to have some success, was really important for us. Other guys did as well. But there's still a lot of room for improvement.
Talk about a young guy, Omari Evans, who on that touchdown pass, that post pattern, he made a great move to the outside and back into the post.
Yeah, the first ingredient he's got is speed. He can flat out run.
The Nittany Lions will take on Auburn Saturday in Alabama. Kickoff is set for 3:30. We're on beginning at 2 o'clock. For Inside Penn State Athletics, I'm Steve Jones on the Penn State Sports Network from Learfield.
Make it your choice. Nittany Beverage. Choose it from 100 different brands. Make it your choice. Nittany Beverage. Buy it by the keg or case or can.
Brought to you by Nittany Beverage. With over 60 in-house brewers and suppliers, Nittany Beverage is the area's best choice for all your beer, cider, and flavored malt needs. Proudly serving State College and surrounding areas since 1965.
Are you ready for week 2 of Thursday Night Football? Get ready for week 2 of touchdowns, big plays, and even bigger wins with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. Want more action? Everyone who can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. It's simple. You bet on Los Angeles or Kansas City to win, and if your team leads by 7 points at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code WQWK to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code WQWK. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. Pennsylvania only. Bonus issued as free bets. 1 early win token issued at opt-in moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. In partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get ready for every Penn State game with the Blaze Alexander Family Dealerships Penn State Tailgate Show on ESPN Radio 103.7 and 99.5 The Bus. Tune in for PA Prep Sports Breakdown. Join Zach Sako and Jason Lord every Wednesday at 5 as they discuss all things high school sports in Pennsylvania, including your local area favorites, Bald Eagle area, Bellefonte, Penns Valley, Phillipsburg, Osceola, and State College. Plus hear directly from the coaches and players themselves with exclusive interviews only heard on the show. That's PA Prep Sports Breakdown. Wednesdays at 5 on ESPN Radio 103.7 and 1450.
Wendy's new French toast sticks are so delicious, some are saying that they're better than their mom's breakfast.
Excuse me. Did you just say Wendy's new French toast sticks are better than my breakfast?
Mom, is that you?
Answer the question.
I said some people are saying that because they're so crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside and perfect in every way.
Uh-huh. And what do you think?
I think it's time to tell people to choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new sweet and crispy home-style French toast sticks.
That's still not an answer.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. An oil change with quality oil like Castrol Edge Full Synthetic can help your engine get more out of every tank. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $37.99. Get what you need for better fuel efficiency at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Is sports 85 to 90% of your personality?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Good. Us too. Back to Sports Talk with Steve Jones on ESPN Radio 103.7 FM. This is your Sports Center update on State College's ESPN Radio 103.7 and 1450. Sponsored by Nittany Beverage. With over 60 in-house brewers and suppliers, Nittany Beverage is the area's best choice for all of your beer, cider, and flavored malt needs.
I'm Zach Seiko. Penn State football impressed with a 46-10 win over Ohio on Saturday. Nicholas Singleton, who was named Big Ten Freshman of the Week, ran for 179 yards and 2 touchdowns. And freshman quarterback Drew Aller saw solid action in the second half of the game, throwing for 88 yards and 2 touchdown passes. Get the full recap today at 4 p.m. with the Believe Network's Pay Dirt, a Penn State football show with Tom Hannafin and former Nittany Lion quarterback Matt McGloin. Then stick around at 5 p.m. for Blue and White Breakdown, our local Penn State sports show with myself, Zach Seiko, and co-host Matt Bortner. Gritty, not pretty. It's a phrase used by Penn State men's basketball, but the Steelers stole the motto as they snuck out of Cincinnati with a 23-20 win. Chris Boswell hit a 53-yard game winner as time expired in overtime. The Steelers forced 5 turnovers, including 4 interceptions from Joe Burrow, a blocked PAT, and sacked the Cincinnati quarterback 7 times. Now, TJ Watt is being evaluated for a torn pectoral muscle, but the latest news indicates that he will not need surgery, at least for the time being, but would miss maybe 4 to 6 weeks. Najee Harris left the game with a foot injury and is questionable. They are also evaluating him for a high ankle sprain. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Detroit Lions 38-35. Jalen Hurts and new wide receiver A.J. Brown have formed a really nice connection. Brown finished the day with 10 receptions and 155 yards. That's your Sports Center update here on State College's ESPN Radio. Your sports bozo plus the positive side of sports are next.
Take a trip down memory lane. Find out how Penn State football has fared in the past against its opponent with the historical perspective on Saturdays during the Penn State Tailgate Show. Sponsored by the Penn State All Sports Museum.
I'm Michael Jenkins, helping you beat the books with BetQL. The Dodgers were the first team to clinch a playoff spot in Major League Baseball. LA will be in Arizona facing rookie pitcher Nelson, who is making just his second Major League start, but carried an ERA over 5 at AAA this season. The Dodgers bats have been getting it done lately, scoring at least 6 runs in 6 of the last 8 games. A rookie pitcher, red-hot bats, and the best team in baseball. It all adds up to taking the over as the BetQL 5-star play of the day between LA and Arizona.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Well, you probably wouldn't buy a pre-owned mattress, straw, or toothbrush.
Ew.
Pre-owned vehicles are a different story. There's one dealer in Happy Valley that has a great selection of pre-owned vehicles and even Kia certified pre-owned vehicles. It's Lion Country Kia.
Ride with the confidence of a certified pre-owned Kia from Lion Country Kia. Get a vehicle 5 years or newer with mileage less than 60,000 miles. Each certified pre-owned vehicle features a thorough 164-point quality assurance inspection and reinstates Kia's original manufacturer's warranty. There's even a free 90-day XM Sirius subscription. Lion Country Kia has a large selection of certified pre-owned vehicles and a great selection of other brands to choose from too. No guesswork, just the confidence of a Kia certified pre-owned vehicle. Only at Lion Country Kia, 1334 Driveover Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club State College.
You've probably noticed a lot of changes in downtown State College over the years, but the Tavern Restaurant is still there, serving up the same great experience locals and Penn State fans alike have come to know and love since 1948. Enjoy your dinner and drinks in their recently renovated building, complete with a bit of Penn State history and a great view of Old Main. Going strong for over 70 years, visit the historic Tavern Restaurant in downtown State College today. Go to thetavern.com for hours, menus, and to reserve your table.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. It looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
What's up, football fans? The new season is finally here. Time to get hydrated with everybody's top pick, Body Armor Sports Drink. Whether you're running plays or cheering on the home team, Body Armor Sports Drink is the choice for hard-working hydration. It has potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, B vitamins, plus no artificial dyes. Body Armor has you covered while sweating through two-a-days or throwing the ball with the fam. Body Armor, more than a sports drink.
It takes a special kind of person to thrive in elder care. Maybe that special person is you. Center Care is hiring, and now is a great time for you to join their team. To learn more or to apply, visit centercare.org.
We now return to Sports Talk with Steve Jones on ESPN Radio 1037 and 1450. Knuckleballs and knuckleheads. Sports has them all. Time to nominate the sports bozo of the day. Sponsored by Beer Belly's Beverage, where beer lives. Featuring more than 500 labels every day. They're in the Hamilton Square Shopping Center and online at beerliveshere.com.
You gotta love that college football's back because Boone, North Carolina was one sight to be seen. I just love some of the comments following Appalachian State's win over Texas A&M.
Well, guess who wasn't a part of it?
Who?
The team.
Yeah.
They had to stay overnight. Travel problems. They had to stay in College Station.
Yeah, Appalachian State doesn't win these games on their own home field. They go on the road.
They almost did with North Carolina.
Yeah. And the students just flocked into the streets. I think it was raining. They jumped into the pond. Like all these kids were swimming around in the pond. And one of the favorite, they said that there isn't going to be any alcohol left in Boone, North Carolina when Saturday's over.
That's great. That is great. Good for them. And the positive side of sports is sponsored by the Tavern Restaurant in downtown State College. And we'll spotlight, by the way, Devon Ellies. Devon Ellies, as a high school player, was outstanding at McDonough. He also was a state champion in the discus and the shot put. You want to know what he did to apply his championships in the discus and the shot put? He decided to coach Special Olympics. Mm-hmm. That's the good side of sports. Sponsored by the Tavern Restaurant in downtown State College. All right. There are a lot of notes that we have not been able to get to in the show. So let's start with Nebraska. Scott Frost is out. They didn't wait for October 1st. No. October 1st is when the buyout would have been cut in half. Trev Alberts didn't wait. Nebraska has been circling a fogged-in airport, essentially, since they let Frank Solich go. I know Bo Pelini had some success, but when they let Frank Solich go, what was the complaint? He only wins 9 games a year, right? So they said over and over, he wins 9.
Same thing with Bo Pelini.
He wins 9. But they win 9 games a year. That was it. Okay. Just like with Jamie Dixon at Pitt. You know what the complaint was with Jamie Dixon at Pitt? Why he left to go to TCU?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because he was fairly successful. Big East tournament, multiple tournament.
He can't get us past the Sweet 16. That was the complaint over and over and over again.
Oh, man.
And the money people over and over again. Okay? How would you like to make the tournament now? Yeah. Ever since they let Jamie Dixon go to TCU.
Last in the ACC.
Right? Ever since they let Jamie Dixon go to TCU, they have not made the NCAA tournament. And the complaint was, he can't get us past the Sweet 16. Really? Frank Solich, Bo Pelini, can't get us past 9 wins. There has to come a point where you have to understand who you are. And remember, Tom Osborne did a great job at Nebraska, winning 3 national titles, 2.5. And
important distinction.
Right. But Tom Osborne did a great job of sustaining a program that he inherited from as an assistant coach because Bob Devaney won a national title. He took over a program that was in great shape when he got it. Barry Switzer took over a program from Chuck Fairbanks that was in really good shape when he got it. There was no rebuilding needed on the part of those guys, but there is a lot to be said for sustaining excellence, which the two of them did. All right. Well, you get to the point, well, this can't be tolerated. We win 9 games a year. You have a state of 1.8 million people. 1.8. That's it. That means you have to recruit in other parts of the country. Right? When they were in the Big 8, they recruited a lot in California, as did Colorado. Mm-hmm. And when they went to the Big 12, Big 8 expanded, adding the 4 Texas schools in there, became the Big 12. Then Nebraska really started recruiting Texas. Well, when they got to the Big 10, a lot of that evaporated for them, in both areas. Now they're getting exponentially more money. Their fans are phenomenal. They have sold out every game since 1962. They have sold out every game since 1962. And when the opposing team, even if Nebraska doesn't win the game, when the opposing team goes into that tunnel, the fans above that tunnel give them a standing ovation. They have phenomenal fans. They have excellent facilities. The stadium's excellent. The Hendricks facility, I've been in there. Excellent. Okay? But they have no recruiting base to operate from that is naturally theirs. It is the way it is. And this all started, and they've been going on this merry-go-round ever since. Guess what? 9 might be your top-out number, and a great year gets you double digits. It's the way it is. They can't accept that. I understand the desire to be a national championship contender. I get that. But right now, getting to 9 would seem like a great goal. And then when you get to 9, start thinking about what can I do to win a national title. That's what they need to do. And Scott Frost is out. And Mickey Joseph will take care of the team for the rest of the season. They'll do a national search, but that is not an easy job. It's not an easy job. And they lost a lot of close games. Couldn't figure out how to win those close games. They had an opportunity to get off to a great start with Northwestern. And this is what happens when you get into that merry-go-round. You'll then try and do something to try and be clever, and it backfires. And they try the onside kick. And I'm like, what are you doing? Not now. Right? And it backfired. The second they did it, the ball wasn't even recovered. I'm thinking, what are you doing? You're up by 11. You got control of this game against a team that's not moving the ball. Pin them back. But now they'll do a national search. But they have to have a short-term and a long-term expectation of who they are. They have to. Then there's Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher's interesting because, as you know, I've never been a big Jimbo Fisher guy. Never have. Even when he won a national title at Florida State, I was not a big Jimbo Fisher guy. Never had. Just for whatever reason. You look back on his two most productive years ever. Jameis Winston was his quarterback, and each time they averaged over 300 yards a game passing. Do you realize that is the last time that a Jimbo Fisher coach team has averaged 300 yards a game passing? And not only that, but he's had some quarterbacks that can move. Kellen Mond could move. He wouldn't run them. All right? There's no question he has a great defense. But when you listen to his post-game press conference on Saturday, here's the tip-off that he doesn't think there's anything wrong. He said, we get a big play, we get a penalty. We get this play, we get it all set up, we get a drop. We do this. Yeah, he's going through all this stuff. Like, hey, guess what? You need to reevaluate what you're doing. They rushed for 110 yards against Sam Houston State. They obviously rushed for less than that against Appalachian State. It was 80 or something like that. But they ran the ball for 110 yards against Sam Houston State. Mm. That should have been the tip-off right away. They've got problems. And when he talks, he doesn't recognize he has a problem. Jimbo, you got a problem.
Yeah.
Your quarterback's not good enough to overcome your running game. Notre Dame has a problem. Buckner's out for the year.
Yep.
Right?
They'll need surgery.
Shoulder surgery, right? They weren't playing well offensively to begin with. They've got a big problem. Because offensively, Notre Dame has not played well in either game at all. And then there's Iowa.
Spencer Petras is still listed as the starter.
Yeah, but I don't know where you go. Where do you go? Is this a personnel problem? I think in part it is.
Yeah.
Is it a schematic problem? I'm not smart enough to know that. Okay. But they have scored one touchdown all season. One.
They lost 10-7 against Iowa State.
Obviously defensively, Campbell and those kids, Riley Moss.
The secondary's really good.
But Campbell, the linebacker, is terrific. It is kind of, some of this stuff helps set up a lot of other things. But they cannot move the football to save their soul. Cannot do it. I know there's if the offensive coordinator's name did not have a last name of Ferentz, you have to openly ask the question, all right, would he still be there? I don't know. By the way, Evan Rodriguez is gone. He's gone to the Colorado Avalanche. Another one of your guys leaving.
Yes.
This one out. Meanwhile, Jimmy Garoppolo watched Trey Lance yesterday saying, I'm over here.
They paid him not to show up.
I've quarterbacked 2 NFC championship games and 1 Super Bowl. I'm over here. case you need me. But I mean, Brian Ferentz is their OC. And they have produced 7 points in 2 games. And one of them was South Dakota State. If it had been 7 points against Iowa State and they won the first game, I don't know, pick a number, 35 to whatever.
Right.
Would you think twice about it? No. But when you get 7 the hard way, 2 safeties and a field goal, now it's enough to win. But you get 2 safeties and a field goal, you're like, wow. So don't worry, it's the second game. We'll get better. They got a touchdown. That was it. They have massive problems offensively. Defensively, no. Their defense will hang in every game for them. And then same thing with Texas A&M. Texas A&M's problem, remember, they had a kickoff return for a touchdown in the game. When they beat Alabama last year, they had a kickoff return for a touchdown. And I feel awful for Texas.
Yeah.
Bryce Young, that's a safety.
Oh, I know it. They were looking at targeting on that play.
Right. But you cannot review intentional grounding. You cannot review intentional grounding.
Well, intentional grounding or not, I thought his elbow was down. His wrist and his elbow hit the turf when the ball was still in his hand.
Right.
That is a safety just by that.
I mean, in a game you lose by 1.
Literally 1. 1 point,
Right.
not one score, 1 point.
Right, 1. That safety makes all the difference in the world. It was totally botched.
Now, what about the no call on the holding? Bryce Young dodged the sack, scrambled out to his right, and the Alabama offensive tackle had him by the shoulder, had him by the jersey around the shoulders, and it was textbook holding. No flag.
No.
And it was as obvious as day. So what are you watching for?
My guess is, I don't know. My guess is it was an SEC crew because they were on the road. And let me address it right away so people know. Penn State will play at Auburn Saturday. It will be a Big Ten crew. All right, so let's just address it so everybody knows right away what the deal is. It'll be a Big Ten officiating crew Saturday at Auburn.
Big Ten refs don't call holding either.
All right, but I'm just but people have asked who's going to be officiating the game. It'll be a Big Ten crew. Okay, so since people have asked or wondered, I wanted to make sure everybody understood that. Hey, by the way, this fall we're giving away $100 a day every weekday. Keep listening for details. Now we've made over your house with the Happy Valley Home Makeover. It's your turn. The Happy Valley Make You Over is coming soon. Win $100 every weekday this fall. The Happy Valley Make You Over is coming soon. How does $100 sound? How's a shot at a $2,500 grand prize sound? Coming soon. The Happy Valley Make You Over. Here on ESPN Radio. Take the card. Nice
I got
catch.
the card.
Nice catch.
Good pass.
All right.
It was very Drew Aller-esque.
Penn State's very fortunate to have the quarterback room that they have.
That was a problem a year ago.
Right? I mean, Sean, Drew, Christian, and Bo. And believe me, I never leave Bo out. Never leave Bo out. But this is it's fun to watch Saturday. Now you go to the next game.
I think they beat Auburn. No. I mean, it'll be a low scoring game because I think Auburn's game plan will be run, but also take its time.
Maybe. We'll see. Depends on what you're able to establish. They threw the ball a lot against San Jose State. In part, they were behind.
Yeah.
Threw the ball a fair amount against Mercer.
Yeah, but I can't imagine that with a passing, I can't say attack, lack thereof attack. They have a passing plan against Penn State's secondary. And with what they know about the defensive line and the linebackers being the weaker position groups of the bunch, quote unquote, I think that Auburn will try to emphasize the run and just try to keep the ball out of Penn State's offense. Keep it away. Play keep away.
I just let it play out organically in front of me.
It's my job. I need to know. I need to predict for the listeners.
Look, if I was doing a pregame show like you guys do, I'd be doing all that stuff. You're doing the game. Yeah.
It may happen, it may not, but in just looking at it.
No. Like I said, I think two of the key guys going into the game, I look at Derek Hall of Auburn, I look at Chap Robinson of Penn State. Yeah, I think those two guys are very interesting players in this game. Now, who knows? Somebody else may step up.
I just can't imagine TJ Finley throwing. He threw 20 attempts against San Jose for 167 yards and 1 interception. I can't imagine that they're going to put him in harm's way with a passing game against that secondary.
Did he throw 1 or 2? Ashford maybe threw 1. Did Ashford throw 1? They threw 2
Yes,
picks.
Robbie Ashford came in 1 for 3, a yard, and 1 interception.
All right.
And they were effective on the ground. 38 carries, 210 yards. That's an average of 5.5, and they had 3 rushing touchdowns. Finley, Bigsby, and Hunter. Go figure.
Yeah. The other kid is...
And Robbie Ashford led the team in rushing the game.
No, you watch Ashford. Ashford's got speed. Ashford has flat-out speed.
Okay, so...
Ashford's very fast. Ashford went to Oregon, and Ashford was there to play football and baseball.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to play both. He will flat-out tell you that it really didn't work out. He wanted out of there. He did not like the situation there at all.
Yeah.
So he goes to Oregon. He goes from Oregon to Auburn. Bo Nix went from Auburn to Oregon.
They made a trade, a simple swap.
Robbie Ashford is a terrific athlete. He's got speed. All right, now people are going to question how accurate he is throwing the ball. He does not want to be known as a runner at quarterback. He wants to be known as a quarterback who can throw the ball. But so he comes in the game. Don't sleep on him at all. Because they will bring him. He will play. He will play. And it's something you have to be prepared for both as to how they play. Finley did show some escapability where he made some throws on Saturday night. You're like, holy mackerel, how do you make that throw? Right? And he should have gone down. There is no question who his safety guy is, and that's Schenker, the tight end. John Samuel Schenker, 6th-year player. There is no doubt that when Finley needs something, 25 is the guy he'll help me here. That's his guy. They've moved some younger players in a wide receiver like Coy Moore. He's playing some at wideout. Both the Johnsons are at wideout that were here last year. Capers is back this year, but he hasn't played as often. And Bo Jackson's nephew, Shedrick Jackson, at wide receiver.
Is he like father, like son, or is it more of Michael Jordan and Marcus Jordan?
He might be like his dad, but he's not like his uncle.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And yes, I've met and interviewed Bo Jackson. So, but yeah.
We haven't really mentioned that Penn State is back in the top 25.
Yeah. Okay. That's nice.
Now are you happy?
Oh, yeah.
You were upset that they weren't in the top 25.
Yeah, you know how mad I get about that stuff. Yeah. Like, at the end of the month, we'll see where everything is, and then you start going from there. Kind of take it by month basis.
I hope that Michigan continues with its quarterback carousel and can't figure it out.
It's Cade McNamara will start this week. It's his turn.
Oh, they have a preseason to do it. They can work these things out.
Is there anybody out there that knows how good Michigan is? Please. Oh, no, I watched them. They're terrific. No, do you really know how good they are? I can tell you right now, they don't.
Hey, they beat Hawaii, but they didn't cover. As they say, good teams win, great teams cover. They did not beat them by 52.
That saying was put together by, in fact, you see the picture? Hey, good teams win, great teams cover. Nick the Greek, 1992. Yeah.
Well, they got a tough one against UConn this week.
Ugh.
Then Maryland, then Iowa. Gosh, they have quite the schedule.
I'll say this about Iowa. Iowa will tell you how good their offense is because Iowa's defense, despite everything, is excellent.
Sports Talk with Steve Jones is a production of State College's ESPN Radio 1450, WQWK State College.